Let's talk about the smart factory. It's one of those big ideas that promises so much, but for most small and medium-sized businesses, it can feel completely out of reach. Well, based on some fantastic research from Professor Shihmin at National Chinan University, we're going to lay out a real practical guide to get from the factory floor you have today to that fully connected digital twin of tomorrow. All right, let's get into it.
So let's just start with this one question. What if your factory wasn't just a building with machines in it? What if it was alive? A thinking operation that could spot problems before they even happen, that could tweak itself for perfect efficiency and make smart calls all on its own, in real time. I mean, that's the dream, right? That's the end goal of this whole thing.
And that dream has a name, the digital twin. And look, this is way more than just some fancy 3D model. I want you to imagine a perfect virtual copy of your entire factory. Every machine, every process, and it's being fed live, real-time data from the floor. This lets you run what-if scenarios, see everything that's happening, and, most importantly, it gives your whole operation a central brain that can actually think.
But building this brain, that's where the dream gets really, really real. Because a digital twin needs to know everything, all at once. It needs the design info from your bill of materials, the big picture plan from your production schedule, the logistics from your material planning, not to mention live data on work orders, machine status, labor and quality. And in most factories today, this stuff is all living in different spreadsheets in different departments, completely walled off. Just getting it all to talk to each other, well, that's the first huge hurdle.
So, if the goal is so amazing, why does it feel so far away for so many small and medium-sized shops? Let's do a reality check and look at the actual roadblocks that are stopping people.
The absolute core of the problem is this massive divide. Just think of it like a brain and hands that aren't connected. On one side, you've got IT, information technology. That's the brain. It's your planning software, your ERP system. Then, on the other side, you've got OT, operational technology. These are the hands, the actual CNC machines, the controllers on the factory floor doing the physical work. For most SMEs, the brain is sending out orders, but it has no clue what the hands are actually doing from second to second.
And that disconnect, that gap between the brain and the hands, it creates four huge challenges. First, the systems just plain can't talk to each other. Second, the software that's supposed to fix this, like a big manufacturing execution system, or MES, is often a nightmare to implement. It's just too complex. Third, you've got perfectly good, older machines that were built before anyone thought about connecting them to a network. And finally, you've got a massive shortage of people and money to actually manage all this new tech.
And when you ask businesses, you hear the same three things over and over again. First up, the cost. These big, full-scale systems for product lifecycle management, we're talking huge price tags that are just not realistic. Second, the complexity. A lot of these platforms require a whole dedicated team just to run them, which SMEs just don't have. But honestly, the biggest barrier of all is finding people who get both worlds, the IT data world and the OT factory floor world. That kind of talent is like gold dust.
Okay, so things can feel pretty chaotic and overwhelming. But Professor Lowe's research gives us a really clean way to cut through all that noise. It's a simple three-part framework to help you map out your entire factory and finally make sense of it all.
So here's how it works. Think of your factory in three zones. You've got the front end, which is basically all your business stuff, your IT systems like ERP that handle orders and resources. Then you have the midsection. This is where your product design and all its data lives, with tools like CAD. And finally, you have the back end. That's the factory floor itself, the world of manufacturing execution systems and the industrial Internet of Things where the actual making happens. The whole key is to see these as three separate areas that you need to build bridges between.
All right, we've defined the dream, we've mapped out the problems, now we get to the best part, the actual practical solutions. Because the good news is, SMEs are figuring this out. They're finding really clever ways to make this happen, and their stories show us how it's done. So let's tackle the problem that almost every single factory has. What do you do with that perfectly good, expensive legacy machine that was built way before the Internet of Things was even a thing? Do you have to scrap it?
No way. Absolutely not. The answer isn't to replace, it's to retrofit. You can add a simple little box, an IoT gateway, right onto your old machine. And this little box acts like a translator.
It can speak the machine's old language, like the common Modbus protocol, and then it broadcasts that data out in a modern format to your other systems, like your MES. You're basically teaching an old machine a new trick.
And this isn't just theory. It worked perfectly for a mold company over in Taichung. They had these great, reliable CNC machines that were total digital islands, completely offline. All they did was add an IoT gateway, and for the first time ever, they started getting that valuable, real-time data flowing right into their main manufacturing system. It was a game changer.
The next big breakthrough is just totally rethinking how you look at software. The old school way was to go out and buy this one giant, super complex, do-everything system. But there's a much smarter, lightweight approach that's working way better. Instead of buying the whole expensive suite, SMEs are just picking and choosing the specific, simple tools they actually need, often using more affordable, cloud-based options.
And you can see this lightweight approach winning out in the real world. Take Company B down in Kaohsiung. They got a consultant's help to strip their complicated system down to just the essentials, work reporting and dispatching. That's it. Or look at Company C in New Taipei. They couldn't even think about affording a full product lifecycle management system. So what they do? They used a flexible, cloud-based PDM tool instead, and it solved their main data problem without the crazy price tag.
So when you pull this all together, Professor Loa's research points to 5 really powerful strategies. 1. Use lightweight tools. 2. Pick modular platforms that you can add to over time. 3. Retrofit your old machines, don't just replace them. 4. Build your talent by working with universities or bringing in consultants. And 5, and this one is maybe the most important of all, start small. Start with just one pilot line.
Which brings us to the final, most important part of this whole thing. This isn't about some chaotic overnight transformation. It's about having a clear, step-by-step plan. So here's what a realistic 3-year roadmap could actually look like for your factory.
Okay, year 1, this is all about the foundation. You put in a lightweight MES, you get your basic IoT connectivity going, you retrofit those key machines, and you launch that crucial pilot line to prove it works. Then in year 2, you focus on integration. You use cloud tools and standard protocols to stitch all those different data streams together. And then in year 3, you get to build the intelligence. Once you have that solid data foundation, you can finally start doing the cool stuff like AI-powered scheduling, predictive maintenance, and quality tracing.
Now, if you take only one thing away from this whole roadmap, let it be this number. 1. Start with 1. Don't try to boil the ocean. Pick a single production line, make it your test case, make it your pilot project. Success there is what gives you the proof and the momentum you need to do everything else.
And really, this is the philosophy that connects all the success stories. For small and medium-sized businesses, this isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, and it's all built on this one core piece of advice. Plan cautiously and implement step by step.
So what's the secret to building a smart factory? It really just comes down to this. Start small, plan carefully, and build momentum. That is how any business can make this happen.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Right now, at this very second, every single machine in your factory is generating data. It's telling a story. The only question is, are you ready to listen? Thanks for checking out this explainer.